Well, hey there, and welcome to the Experienship Podcast. I'm Brittany.
And I'm Danlee. We are two besties hanging out and sharing our experiences in a friendship.
So sit down, get comfortable, and enjoy.
Hey guys.
Hey,
How's it going?
we're here on the couch today.
We decided to have a little chit chat episode today and talk to you guys about ourselves. For those of you who don't know us, we'll introduce ourselves again and maybe even tell you some stuff that the people who do know us don't know about. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then maybe talk a little bit about Brittany's rodeo experience yesterday.
Yes. It's not rodeo, Austin rodeo without some story.
But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So you want to go first? You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. So, I'm Brittany. I've lived in Texas my whole life. I've been back and forth between Austin and Houston. My story is Austin, Houston, Austin, Houston, Austin.
Literally. Texas gal.
And I've been back in Austin since 2019. I started off in the liquor industry, did that for 7 years, and then got into tech. And now I'm doing that. So,
And you went
in
to
Austin.
Texas State.
I went to Texas State. I started off at ACC though, so that was good. That was nice to save money that way.
Yeah.
So that was my story. I was president of the Psychology Association at the Round Rock campus in Texas State for a year. So that was a proud moment for me.
Psychology was your major too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. I studied psychology and then communications was my minor.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Texas girl too. Not as many movings arounds, but
Yeah.
I lived in Northeast Texas for a while in a very small town, Grand Saline. Shout out. Grand Saline, Texas. And when I was 11, my family and I moved to Kerrville, Texas, so like southwest of where we're at now in Austin. And after I graduated high school, moved to Austin. I started off at ACC as well.
Yeah.
Didn't know what I was doing, just knew I wanted school to happen.
Yeah.
And that ended up being great, like you said, saved some money.
Yeah.
I know that's not like every high schooler's dream to like kick off college at a community college, but it saves so much money.
It's such a good way to like, especially if you don't know what your major is going to be. It's great just to go to ACC and get those basic prereqs out of the way and then figure it out later.
And ACC is a good school. Like some of the hardest classes I took like were at ACC, like ever. So
yeah,
I would say you're getting a decent education.
I had
at
a calculus
ACC.
class that I could not pass to save my life.
No, I dropped the only class I've ever taken and dropped was at ACC. It was Texas government. Oh my God. If you want to like bore me to death, put me in a Texas government class. And I mean, I like some history, but just government, like it was so bad. Anyway.
I just don't understand why like in Texas, in your undergrad studies, like they make you take Texas government. Like that sounds like something you're supposed to take in high school.
It seems like a chapter that could be covered and then move on.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, I hated that class. I hated like going in person and like trying to stay awake.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so we met at work. So around that time, we both worked at Floyd's barbershop.
Yep.
As receptionists.
Which let me tell you was a hard job. Like,
oh yeah.
Because we were basically in charge of the whole salon. Everybody, like the hot towels, all of the people coming in and out, all of like
hot towels. You would get like blisters on your hands.
Because we had to roll up the hot towels.
You have to roll them up and then like string out the hot water, and you would just do so many of them.
Like 100 at a time.
And I know some of you listeners, by the way, we're calling you guys the X Squad now. That's what we decided. Some of you X Squad members, like I know y'all worked at Floyd's, so you know the struggle of what we all went through there. So we ended up having a lot of fun. So in high school, like I did cheer and stuff like that. And we always did like themed things. And so when I started at Floyd's, I was like, let's like have fun. And we started having themed Fridays. And I know we've talked about this on the show before too, but that made it so much fun. Like it made all the stress of that job so much more fun. Like we would dress up and like just make it really great. But anyway, so we met at Floyd's. That's like where our timelines intercept. But I also eventually quit and started working as a vet tech. I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian for a while. So I was doing some different types of classes to like start that whole route. And along the way, while working at the Austin Humane Society, I decided I didn't want to do that anymore. And I ended up moving into the biotech industry. So I moved into a like animal research position, which was so cool, and kicked off my career. And so I've been in that industry now for about 10 years. I've had several positions in like lots of lab tech stuff and animal stuff, but also eventually I moved into like what they call translational medicine, working more with like clinical trials, and eventually finished undergrad and started my master's in biotech and had a specialization in regulatory affairs. And I moved still in biotech, but pivoted to regulatory focus work, which is what I've been doing for the past several years.
I tried to start my master's and it is really hard. Props to anybody. Props to you for getting your master's. And I know you were pregnant while you got it too. So I don't know how you did it.
Well, I took forever to do undergrad too. Like I spread that out forever. So I transferred from ACC to Texas Tech University, but I finished it all online. So I didn't like move to Lubbock, but I got pregnant like right at the end of my undergrad. Like we all drove to Lubbock and went to my graduation for
there.
Oh, that's right. Well, it was a long time ago now, but
I
anyway,
was like sick or something.
Yeah, but it was a bachelor's of science in human sciences, and I got pregnant, and that was like great. It was like perfect. I'm done with school, and then decided, oh, I'm going to do my master's.
Mm-hmm.
So, with a toddler, and I got pregnant again, finished my master's degree like right before I gave birth to my second baby. And so that was insane.
Yeah.
And I told myself school, I was just done forever. Like no more school, because it was so much work, so many late nights, but very worth it. Just, it's so much work. It's not fun.
Nope.
Yeah. But anyway, on a less serious note,
do
you want to maybe tell me something about you that I don't know? Because we've known each other now for so long.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like we know everything about each other. So,
well, we mentioned the chinchilla. So
briefly.
So this is so weird. This is just like a really random story, nothing too exciting. But when I was in like elementary school, so my neighbor had all these kinds of weird pets. They had like a flying squirrel at one point, and then I'm sure they had a bearded dragon or something, but they had like a bunch of weird animals.
Yeah.
And they had this chinchilla. And so they were going, and chinchillas are so soft.
And okay, so can you describe a chinchilla, please?
Chinchillas are from like the Andes Mountains, and they're like these little kind of like.
There was one at one of the birthday parties.
Yeah, they kind of look like a rabbit, but not.
Hop around.
Yeah, they kind of, but they're okay. But let me tell you, those little suckers are fast. So we babysit this thing. They go out of town and they're like, hey, can you watch our chinchilla for us? And I'm like, yes, of course we'll watch this chinchilla. It's so soft and fuzzy and they're so cute and you just want to squeeze them. So anyway, so I'm like holding it and it like gets out and it's fast. It runs. It was like running around the house. Took me like 30 minutes to chase it down. Finally, I like cornered it in the bathroom, like behind the toilet, and caught it. But it was like insane panic because I was like, great, this chinchilla, we've lost the chinchilla. Like, it's not going to survive on its own in the house.
Oh my God. What do I do?
We were scared that we weren't going to catch the chinchilla for a little bit. So I babysat a chinchilla before.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they didn't ask us to babysit after that. No, I don't know. My mom might have told them, but I'm sure the chinchilla was like traumatized from being chased around a house. We had a big house at the time. We had a big 2-story house, and that thing was like all over the place. Yeah.
I used to have a little rabbit, Honey the bunny.
Honey the bunny.
Sonny the bunny growing up was like my baby favorite animal. Like loved Sonny the bunny. There's nothing more to it, just that I really loved Sonny. And
Aw.
yeah, we ended up rehoming him because my parents like wanted to adopt chihuahuas, or not chihuahuas. What are they? They have little short tails. Hershey and Zoom were their names.
Corgis?
No, it's on the tip of my tongue. What are they? Whatever.
Short tails.
That'll come back to me. But anyway, they wanted to adopt dogs, and so Sonny got kicked out. I know, it was really sad.
I've had a couple bunnies growing up, but like one of them was really mean.
Yeah.
His name was Chestnut, and we got him at like one of the rodeo fairs or whatever. And it was like one that they had like show bunnies, and then they had all these other bunnies, and you could like look at them and pick them up and play with them and, adopt. It was this big like fair thing.
Wow.
And so we ended up adopting Chestnut, took it home. I had to wear like a thick jacket just to hold it because he would bite me.
Yeah, Sonny did bite some holes in my clothes, but he never hurt me.
No, he was like trying to
attack.
Eat me.
Killer bunny.
Killer bunny. Yeah, so eventually we got rid of Chestnut because
it wasn't working.
It wasn't working. Yeah. But I loved bunnies, and I always loved bunnies, and I still want one because I used to, the first one that we had, we trained it to poop in its little box. Cage. So that way it wouldn't poop around the house. So it actually got to be like free.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
That is cool. Yeah.
But then we got Chestnut, and that ruined the whole bunny experience for my family.
That sucks. Well, I have a bearded dragon now, and usually, I mean, oftentimes we're holding her like when we're recording, but we're at Brittany's, so Lizzie's not here. But yeah, we've had Lizzie for like a year and a half.
Yeah. Well, except that one time you brought her over randomly.
Oh yeah. We packed her up in her little travel case. She's so cute, and she's so big now. She's like
with her tail,
almost 2 feet long, but she's a great pet. The only thing is like her diet, like she needs a lot of protein. So for the longest time, we were ordering crickets, like batches of crickets every couple of weeks. And as she was growing, she was just eating so many crickets, and you had to pick them up and put them in there. The crickets were okay. But now that she's like more substantial, she eats dubia roaches, and we actually have a dubia roach colony like in our house. You've seen it.
Yes, I have.
Francis,
I just think it's so disgusting.
Yeah, it is. But Francis has like fully embraced it, which is the only reason this is working out, because poor Lizzie would be eating like lizard smoothies if it were just me taking care of her. So she's got like primetime diet dubia roaches. So we have this whole colony. It's like this big container, and it has like egg cartons. And we set it on a heater because they like to be warm, and it helps with like the breeding. And so there's like the big roaches that are the breeders, and then they have all the little teeny babies, and that's what Lizzie eats. And Francis is fine just picking them up and sticking them in there. And he'll even like let him crawl on his arm and stuff.
It's so gross when he holds it and he comes around the corner, like at their house. He'll like pick one up and come around the corner and like be like, "Look what I've got." And we're all like,
"Oh!" One time we were like gonna record, and you had your notebook out, and he came and just set one on her notebook.
Oh yeah, ew! I was like, I have to burn the page now.
You're like, I just wrote all these notes, and now I have to throw it away. Now that it's kind of warming up, it's nice because she likes to go sit in the sun.
Yeah.
She's such a cute pet.
She is. Yeah. I really wish I could put up, because I've wanted a bearded dragon for so long, and I was so upset when they got one.
I didn't know you were like upset.
But the thing is now watching, I didn't realize, like watching them feed the baby and all of the, I can't.
But you are Lizzie's godmom.
I am Lizzie's godmom.
So what happens? Are you going to be able to feed her?
I will figure it out. Yes, I will.
Hire somebody.
I think it's like with the crickets, like at the beginning when she had to eat so much all the time.
Yeah, it was like daily. She would eat like 15 crickets. Yeah.
Like that's not, I can't handle that.
Now it's like spread out, like days at a time. She'll go without eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's much more manageable now. Yeah. But the babies, like, they eat like so much. So that's an interesting thing about us in our life, is the bearded dragon. I don't know that I have many other interesting topics. I really like to bake. Well, I like to bake, but if I end up baking, like
when you have to bake, you don't want to.
Right now we're in what we call birthday season, because a lot of us have so many birthdays back to back over these next few months, and it gets crazy with baking. So if I don't have pressure to like do a ton, I really do love like being creative and coming up with like cool, pretty cakes and cupcakes and things like that.
Yeah.
The decorating is like the best part.
Well, that's how I feel about doing nails. Like we constantly do nails, and we do like good nails. And
Brittany taught me.
Yes, I taught you, and Diana taught me how to do it at Blue Canvas Nail Salon, which is now no longer. Now it's just Nails by D. But anyway, she taught me how to do it because COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, I can't have naked nails.
Yeah, because you were like nail salon regular.
Oh yeah. I went every 2 weeks, like clockwork. And so anyway, so now I do it, but I feel like it's such a burden. It's like actually doing the nails. I'm like, I don't wanna.
Yeah, it's definitely a project. Yeah.
It is. Because you gotta like take them off and then you gotta put them back on and then you gotta paint them and everything. And it takes a minute.
I still think it's better than going to the salon though, because the thing with me was the time going to the salon, like, because most of the time when I do my nails, it's like at night when the kids are in bed. So like finding time to get to the salon was becoming a problem. And also I feel like we do better than a lot of the salon nails.
Yeah.
Like not every time. There's definitely been some like really cool salon nails that we've both had, but like on a regular basis, like I wasn't really happy with what I was getting.
Well, girl, that last set that you got that was acrylic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they were. So we do Gel X extensions. So if you don't know what that is, look it up because I'm not going to explain it. But so we do that. And that's a very specific way of doing your nails. But then she goes to the salon and Grand Saline.
We went to Mineola because the one salon in Grand Saline, well, I'll just say that my grandmother didn't have the best experience there.
Oh.
And so and they couldn't even get us in. I called them anyway and they were like, no, there's 4 of you. Like, absolutely not. Like they were just, And so anyway, we went to Mineola and they got us in for sure. But I hated those nails, like hated them.
They were thick.
They were so chunky and they were all crooked and they looked terrible.
Yeah.
And they took forever to do. So I was like, why are we here? What am I doing? You know, like I literally went home and drilled them down and painted them.
Yeah.
And they still didn't look that good. Yeah. So nails, it can be a thing.
It is. Yeah. It's definitely a thing. Okay. So I volunteered at Houston Rodeo yesterday. Austin, excuse me. Austin barbecue cook-off. Where was I?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Barbecue was where I volunteered. It wasn't the rodeo yet. And so I volunteered at the IOU tent, which is a really big tent.
Rodeo yet?
Just barbecue cook-off.
Oh.
They split it up.
Okay. So normally it would be together.
Yeah. Barbecue Austin and rodeo are now separate.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Which I didn't realize until yesterday. And so they had, the IOU tent that I volunteered at is a really big tent, really good barbecue. We won 2nd place in the amount of money raised.
Wow.
For Austin Rodeo.
Yeah.
Or for the Rodeo Children's Foundation or whatever it is. I forgot exactly what foundation it is, but it's something rodeo related, like a scholarship fund, basically is what it is. And so we're there and I'm telling the girls that I'm working with at the raffle ticket area, I'm like, well, I'm single. So let's try to find me somebody to date.
This reminds me so much of our Austin Rodeo episode last year.
Yes.
The podcast is like a year old, right?
We're over a year old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, cheers to that. Honestly, didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We're over a year old.
One of our first episodes was not the first one, but one of the first few. If you haven't listened to Brittany and Danlee Go to the Rodeo, we have a whole thing about it. It was super fun. But that mission that day, well, kind of was.
We found me a man. It turned out to be Mormon. So that was special.
But anyway, so how did
and our
go?
Text exchange was very weird. So I leave. I walk away to go help somebody with something, and I come back, and this other chick, one of my other volunteer people, is talking to this guy. I thought she had vetted him for me. So I start talking to him and I'm like, damn, this dude seems like he's really drunk.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so
was he Mormon?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Not Mormon.
A drunk Mormon. Okay.
So he seemed really drunk. And then all of a sudden so we had a band playing in the back and they were doing covers of country songs and things like that.
Yeah, I think I heard it in one of the pictures you sent, the live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so he asked me if I wanted to dance. It was terrible.
Fun. Oh, dang it.
I kept missing his hand. We were going around. He was trying to do this weird loop thing where we loop arms around each other and then kind of dance around in a circle for a second.
Okay.
And it was hobbling. We were
It's like me and you trying to do that TikTok the other night.
Yeah.
When we were looking at the stars outside.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you think it's really good, and then it's like, it's
Really,
really
no.
bad.
And we were the only ones out there dancing.
Oh, that's
so
so much
everybody
worse.
was watching us.
Oh, no.
And so, of course, I've got my IOU barbecue shirt on, and everyone's probably like, what is this lady doing? Well, after a long day, and I was on my feet all day, and it was hot, and then it got cold.
It was the weirdest weather yesterday.
The weather was
this
weird.
Is Texas, y'all. It was freezing, and it was hot, and then it was freezing again. It was super windy.
It was
like,
windy.
What is happening today? We had a weird day. So we went out shopping because I'm going to go to that Planetary Society Gala. Yeah. And I'm super excited about it. So Francis and I needed to get our outfits. So me and Francis and our 2 kids go shopping, and oh my gosh, shopping with 2 young kids, and it's not for them.
Yeah.
It's like torture. We went into Men's Warehouse, and they're just like running laps, putting their face on the mirrors, all this stuff. And I was just like, this is terrible. This is terrible. What are we doing here? What happened? Anyway, we finally got out of there. Francis got a really great outfit.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. And then we had to go to a store to get my dress altered. And that was just a nightmare too. They're watching me try this dress on and talk to the seamstress. And my daughter was that kid that was just screaming.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh, what do I do? So it was rough. So when we got home at the end of all of it, it was great because I just relaxed too. I was like, everyone go to bed. We're done with this day.
Yeah.
We got our outfits. Love the outfits. Can't wait to wear them. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
But I definitely watched a movie and drank some wine.
Yeah. You watched a movie. She was texting us all night.
Not all night.
I was laying in bed at 10 o'clock and playing a game on my phone, took some NyQuil because I'm still kind of congested.
Yeah.
And so I was on a different level yesterday. And I'm playing this game on my phone, and then I look at my text messages, and it's 81 text messages, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about?
Of 5 people. So it wasn't just me, but I was instigating for sure. We made all these plans.
She's like, we're gonna do keg stands, and we're gonna do kegs and bingo.
Okay, hold on.
And crawfish, and
I'm not just crazy. Okay, I was talking to one of our friends about our gala outfits.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm so excited to go shopping for this because even for our wedding and stuff like that, we didn't really go buy nice, beautiful outfits or whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't have any money. We just bought what we could afford. And so that got into the conversation of weddings, and at our
reception.
Our little party after our wedding, we did keg stands.
Yeah.
And so our friend was like, oh, I've never done one. And so last night I'm like, oh, well, you have to, So I'm like, guys, we're going to do crawfish at a keg stand. And everyone's like, okay. And then today I'm like,
she's over here texting. She goes, I'm a little tipsy and overly ambitious.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know about this, guys. Yeah. And we're also going to play bingo, which probably no keg that night. That's going to be a chill night, but bingo sounds fun. We're excited to play bingo.
But we're going to play it in a different way where what did Leslie say? Everybody brings a gift.
A gift.
And so you do whoever's turn it is, whoever's gift it is, they're the ones that are going to roll the numbers. And whoever wins that round gets that prize, which I think is great.
Yeah.
So I just did the purse bingo.
Oh, yeah.
So I did.
And you won a cool watch.
I won a Michael Kors watch.
That's awesome. I mean, but our budget's more like $20.
Yeah.
This is not a Michael Kors watch situation.
Mine was a charity raising event.
Yeah.
Money raising event for charity. And yeah, no, that was cool though, because it's designer purse bingo for Children's Advocacy Center of Bastrop in Fayette County. And this is was my 3rd time going. And I never win anything just in general.
Yeah.
I never win anything. And so we had
to be the winner.
Had extra tickets. We had little raffle tickets in our welcome envelope. And so you got to choose, there was a Gucci perfume or a Michael Kors watch. Or
I love Gucci perfume, by the way.
Oh, really?
Love Gucci perfume.
Oh, okay. I've never smelled it, so I didn't pick it, obviously. And so there was a couple other purses. And actually, so I just threw mine in for a purse. And my friend Karen that I went with was like, you don't even like that purse. Why did you put it in? So I took it back out
So this was a full choice.
This was a full choice. I took it back out and I was like, fine, I'll put it in the Michael Kors watch. Not even, I don't wear watches.
And I was going to ask you, like, have you worn it?
No.
It's still exciting, guys.
Yeah.
This watch.
I won something and it was so cool because they were like 860, whatever.
And you're like,
blah, blah. And I was like, it took me a second. And I was like, that's my numbers. And like the whole table that I was sitting at started screaming. They were like,
that is the best.
yeah. So I was like, I finally won something. My curse has been cured.
I won a centerpiece at a Christmas party once.
Centerpiece.
Yeah. And then another time my mom and I were at this like church Easter event and she won a sander, like a hand sander.
That's so random.
It's like, what do I do with this? But we were so excited about the hand sander. Still don't really know if any of us have used it. I don't think so.
There was a guy yesterday at the raffle that came in all cocky and kind of sleazy a little bit, but he was like, we win. My family and I win everything. And so he bought like a bunch of tickets. Yeah. And
cocky.
Yeah. And like went in and like put his name and number down on everything.
He didn't win anything.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who won the raffle.
Oh, okay.
Because they're drawing it today. So.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So I don't know who won the raffles yet. But yeah, it was at the barbecue Austin, and it was just crazy because like you write your name and phone number on the back of the ticket, and the other side of the ticket is for you to keep, or you don't really have to keep it. It's up to you, because they call you.
Yeah.
And I was watching him though, because apparently in the past some people have taken both sides of the ticket and put it in, so they're like cheating. Yeah. So I was like watching him. I was like, don't you dare cheat. And he's like, I already put in the raffle yesterday and I'm probably going to win it. So I'm putting this in for my mama today. And I was like, okay.
For my mama.
I was like, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People take raffles very seriously.
Well, this has been a cool weekend. Well, no, the raffle was last weekend, right? When you won the watch.
When I won the watch, that was last weekend. Yeah.
You were giving away raffles yesterday.
Yes.
Okay.
I was making people give me their money. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Well, I guess that's it for today, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We had some fun story time.
Yeah, we did. Story time with Danlee and Brittany.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time on
The Experienship Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
And if you're feeling fancy, leave us a review wherever you stream.
Bye.